Welcome back everyone. The iPhone 13 mini just came out, so let's go and compare it against the iPhone XR and see which one you should pick up. Now I will tell you the 13 mini is probably the better one, but the XR is still a tremendous phone as well. I will leave both of these phones linked down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now side by side, you can definitely see that the 13 mini is a much smaller phone. You have a 5.4-inch OLED panel on the 13 mini. We have a 6.1-inch IPS panel on the XR. Now the XR's panel is still really good, but I think the 13 mini visually looks better. But I do like a bigger panel, and that's what kind of throws me off. I like both phones. If you like a smaller phone, the 13 mini is your phone, but the 10 are still a really good feeling phone too, and they both kind of feel the same, In terms of the thickness, I think the 10R feels a little bit thicker, but because of the flat side on the 13 mini, you're feeling the thickest point all around versus the curved side on the 10R. And on the back, you have glass backs on both, dual camera setup on the iPhone 13 mini, one camera setup on the iPhone XR, wireless charging, IP certification, the whole 9 yards on both, lightning port at the bottom, and they're both very good phones when it comes down to it. You also have the power button on the side, and that covers it up, at least on the outside portion. Now with the 13 mini, I will tell you one of the biggest advantages of picking up this phone over the iPhone XR is probably the longevity. The iPhone 13 mini is going to last much longer than something like an iPhone XR, so that is a big thing to keep in mind. But the XR is not going anywhere anytime soon. Like, this phone is still going to be supported for many more moons, so it's not like this thing is you're gonna get it today and that's it. And this thing has a long lifespan. The 13 mini is still going to be supported longer, but it's still very close between them both. Now they both have IP certification, the whole 9 yards there too, so there's not much to compare there, and that pretty much covers it up. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both of these devices. Now the iPhone XR has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 GB of RAM, but the iPhone 13 mini has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 GB of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster iPhone between both of these. Okay, now that we're back, all the apps are cleared out in the background, so let's get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And for some reason didn't open on the 13 mini, so that's a great start. Music, 3, 2, 1. Both about the same, and even swiping between these two apps kind of give me the same impression. Hopping out of this one, let's do their app stores, 3, 2, 1. And we do have a network connection problem on the iPhone 13 mini, so we'll just let this one slide. Let's do camera, 3, 2, 1. And pretty much the same thing. Going out of this one, let's do photos, 3, 2, 1. I think the 13 mini was a little bit faster there. Calendar, 3, 2, 1. Both were kind of the same too. Let's go into mail, 3, 2, 1. 13 mini I think was faster. Clock, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. Let's go and get into settings, 3, 2, 1. And the 13 mini was faster there. I love these small apps because they showcase, I guess, even with smaller differences like that there's still a difference. And as always, we have a lot of these third-party apps we can go and get into. So let's do Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. 13 mini I think was a faster one. Dropbox, 3, 2, 1. 13 mini again was a faster one here. Hopping out of this one, let's get into something like Snapchat, I guess, 3, 2, 1. 13 mini again is a faster one. The original Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. Now we may be on different panels on both, and it does look like we are, but the 13 mini was still the faster one to load into it. Hopping out of this one, let's get into Facebook, 3, 2, 1. 13 mini is the faster one, 10R. A little bit behind. I don't know what happened here, but the 13 mini was faster. Twitter, 3, 2, 1. 13 mini again is a faster one. Let's get into Thank You, 3, 2, 1. 13 mini was faster. And iPhone XR a little bit behind here too. Getting into some gameplay. I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference, but it's always good to see. Hopping out of this one, let's get into Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. I think the 13 mini again is going to be the faster one, but there is a network connection problem right now. So yeah, the 10R I knew was going to be the faster one there. We're going to get a timeout here, and then eventually, yep, there we go. Hopping out of this one, let's do Stack, 3, 2, 1. And I think the 13 mini may be the faster one here, and indeed it is. Hopping out of this specific app, let's go and get into Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can see the 13 mini looks to be a little bit faster. The iPhone XR is still stuck on this loading panel. Not really too sure what's going on. And it does look like the XR definitely was a much slower than the iPhone 13 mini. Hopping out of this one, let's go and get into, I guess that really covers it up, Netflix, 3, 2, 1. But even then, like, we already kind of know which one these are going to go. We'll do Snake First Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And again, the 13 mini is faster. The iPhone 10R a little bit behind. So definitely when it comes down to it, the iPhone 10R is still a very fast phone. I still think it's a great, tremendous phone. I think it has a lot of capability, but it does look like the iPhone 10R is a little bit slower than the iPhone 13 mini. And there's nothing wrong with that. The iPhone 10R should be slower. I'm hoping that, by us spending more money, that the iPhone 13 is faster, even the 13 mini. And you can see the iPhone 10R did actually time out there. So that's a big thing. I think in terms of RAM management, you're getting a better RAM management type of phone on the iPhone 13 mini. But the iPhone 10R, like I mentioned, is still extremely good. Did it do better than I thought? Not really, but be honest, I think the 10R did better than I thought. I think the 13 mini didn't do as good as I thought, but the 10R did a tremendous job. So that covers it up there. I will do a full speed comparison at some point. I will also do a full camera comparison at some point. Let's go and hit on them very quickly. Now, the 13 mini has a dual camera setup, so a wide angle lens and an ultra wide sensor, where the iPhone 10R has a single wide angle lens. They both can do 4K at 60 on the back, which is great, but the iPhone 13 mini can do 4K at 60 on the back and the front, where the iPhone 10R can only do 4K at 60 on the back, while on the front of it, it can only do 1080p at 60. So that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. Now, in terms of the camera UIs, we pretty much have the same exact thing on both. iPhones are notorious like this, but you can't see that we don't have this little dial thing that we can go and kind of zoom in and zoom out on the iPhone 10R because it has a single lens. But also on top of that, you can see we have portrait mode, panoramic mode, the same settings on the right side, video mode, but we now have the cinematic mode on the iPhone 13 mini, which essentially brings portrait mode video for photos or portrait mode photo for videos. And I think it's really cool. It brings a lot of capability and I like it a lot. Now, the 10R's camera is still pretty good, like I mentioned. I like having 4K at 60 on the back. I don't like having only 1080p at 60. I like having the ability to go up to 4K if needed, but it's still fairly good. It's a 2018 kind of budget tier phone, so I don't have too many problems with it. And I think overall, this is still a very solid camera. Is it perfect? Absolutely not, but it's not supposed to be perfect. And I think that's a big thing to keep in mind about this specific camera. And with the 13 mini, this is a beautiful phone still. I mean, it has a lot of capability too. You have the ability of zooming out a lot, with that ultra-wide sensor, and that in and of itself is a massive difference between the two. But on top of that, with the 13 mini, you still have a beautiful build quality, and you're getting a beautiful camera on the front and the back. So that's another pretty big thing to keep in mind. Is the 13 mini perfect? Absolutely not, but it still has a very good camera, and it's better than the iPhone 10R for sure. And now we make it to the end of the video. So should you go and buy an iPhone 10R? Should you keep your iPhone 10R? Should you go and get an iPhone 13 mini? To be completely honest, the 13 mini is a pretty good phone. You're getting a lot of the similarity. I mean, you're getting the same type of build quality and everything, but the 13 mini does bring a lot of enhancements. It brings a better display, with OLED panel. It brings, that dual camera setup on the back, which is beautiful and it looks really good. You're getting, I guess, almost, better build quality, but not really. The flat sides, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But the 10R still surprises me. It surprised me a lot today. I think when it comes down to both of these, the 10R surprised me more today than the iPhone 13 mini. I think this phone is still a tremendous phone. I think it has a lot of quality, and I think it's a great phone for the price tag. You can probably get this for like around $300 something, between $300 and $400, and this is a great phone quality and phone that you're going to get for that price tag. Now, I also think the 13 mini is probably the better phone. Like I mentioned, you're getting a lot more for the price, but it's not really because this is a way more expensive phone. You're getting more for the price for the iPhone 10R. But the 13 mini, I mean, like I mentioned, you're getting probably better battery life, better performance for sure, longevity of this phone because it's going to last for a long time. And that's really it. But the 10R is still supported and it's still a very good phone too. And I don't know if there's inherently a winner here. The 13 mini is the better one. So it really comes down to you. Which one do you prefer? Me personally, I think I may rather have a 10R for the time being, but the 13 mini is a tremendous phone, but the 10R is a better value per dollar. So that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.